I purchased the new DJI Nano with my own money, and this review is completely unsponsored. I'm going to share some uncomfortable truth about both DJI and Insta360, the things most reviews won't tell you. You will see how to save big on accessories, which camera absolutely crushed this comparison, and which one left behind as a loser. Let's get into it. Comparing these two cameras is like comparing the possums to kangaroos. Why? Well, because of the possums are carrying everything on tops, and kangaroos as marsupials, they have this special pocket inside. On paper, the specs already highlight some big differences between these two tiny cameras. The Insta360 Go Ultra comes with a larger 1 over 1.28 inch sensor versus 1 over 1.3 inch sensor on DJI, a Clarity 2x zoom feature, and a bigger battery, which should mean better endurance and more flexibility when you are out shooting. The DJI Nano, on the other hand, offers 10-bit color, D-Lock support, and both internal and external memory options, as well as a protective case, giving you more creative control and storage flexibility right out of the box. But here's the thing, specs don't tell the whole story. What really matters is how these cameras perform when you hit the record. So let's put them to the test. And we are starting with the toughest challenge for any small camera, low light performance. Alright, so now both cameras again, filming in a pure video mode. I'm standing indoor and using 4K 30 FPS. On the video preview, I can clearly see more details on Insta360 Go Ultra, while on DJI OSMO Nano, everything is really dark. Even the super night mode has been enabled. Now it's completely dark. Only a few street lights around here, and it's actually so dark I can barely see the cameras. I couldn't enable the buttons. I can see on the preview of Insta360 Go Ultra my face, actually myself, and DJI OSMO Nano looks completely dark. I don't know how it will look like on a large screen. This is the morning, 20 minutes before the dawn. It's a bit cloudy, and I'm standing over the lake, filming in a super night mode on DJI and pure video on Insta360 in 4K 30 FPS. I'm trying to move very slow in order to not have any jittering, even standing for some moments. So guys, just let me know where do you see more details. So the colors today are just unbelievable. As you can see, we have all the colors of the rainbow, and the golden hours are so spectacular and beautiful. The video preview on both cameras is completely different. In the Insta360 Go Ultra, I can see a lot of blue color. At the same time, I have default configuration. HDR has been set to automatically on, filming in 4K 30 FPS. As you know, Insta360 Go Ultra filming in 8-bit. On DJI Nano, we have 10-bit, no HDR, and the preview it definitely has a lot more golden colors as it is in natural. If I point my camera to the water and just start slowly moving up to the sky, again the colors are very different, and it's very difficult to judge on the video preview because the scene itself is so beautiful that it's just impossible to say where it is better. The clear advantage of Insta360 Go Ultra is a clarity zoom because it's a lossless zoom, pretty much the same what we have on DJI Osmo Pocket 3. DJI Nano doesn't have any zoom at all, and yeah, this is kind of disadvantage, especially if you want to zoom in a little bit the object nearby. For example, the coot over there, as you can see, is this sort of duck. It's not a duck, it's a coot. And on the DJI Nano, it looks so far, and with the clarity zoom, I can even see the details of this bird. I also spent some time comparing the photo modes on these two cameras, and the differences is quite noticeable. On the Insta360 Go Ultra, you can see way more details. Textures, fine lines, and small elements all pop in a way that makes the image feel sharp and realistic. The DJI Nano, on the other hand, tends to look a bit washed out. Alright, now let's see what we have in the menus of both cameras. Let's open them, and let's just swipe left or right. So, for DJI Nano, we have a video, we have photo, we have super night mode, slow motion, and time lapse, and that's it. For Insta360 Go Ultra, there are a lot more options for video and photo. You have just regular photo, you have video, you have a pure video mode, you have free frame video. It means that you can shot no matter how. It is very handy. You have toddler Titan. It is when you put the camera on the head of your baby, or you can wear it for yourself if you want. The time shift, I love this mode, especially if you want to film a lot of territory walking around or running, and it will be stitching accurately without this jittering that normally you will get with a time lapse. You have normal time lapse, loop recording, you have slow motion. If you compare the slow motion, DJI Nano has advantages here because it will film in 4K 120 FPS, while Insta360 Go Ultra can only film in 27K in 120 FPS. So if you are about the slow motion, then DJI Nano has better capabilities here. The one thing that I was really negatively surprised about the new Nano is how wobbly and fragile it is. We used to think about DJI cameras as really robust and strong cameras, but now just take a look here. The connectivity between the main camera and the preview part is like I move it and the camera is like wobbling here. And the same in here between mount and the camera. If you compare to details that we have on Insta360 Go Ultra, everything's sitting super robust. Even this foldable screen is not moving, like you cannot just, even if you connect the mount in here, the mount is connected really strong. I mean, it's not going anywhere. So I was really negatively kind of surprised about the quality of DJI Nano. I feel like this camera is unfinished. Switch both cameras to 60 FPS. Now just start moving a little bit faster. So we'll see how the jittering will be handled by both cameras. What do you think, guys? Let me know. Moving closer to the lake. The grass today is super wet, so my feet are wet already. Both cameras also support the ultra-wide view. On Insta360 Go Ultra, it is called the action view, and it allows you to film in the max angle on this camera, and I would say this is really wide. On DJI Nano, it's called ultra-wide, and even both cameras in my hand, I can clearly see like my entire hand to my wrist and up to my palm in Insta360 Go Ultra. When I hold the camera on DJI Nano, I can see only the half of my hands. So it's definitely the field of view is a lot much wider on Insta360 Go Ultra. Both cameras have also a lot of accessories, but if you've seen one of my previous episodes that will appear now in the top right corner of the screen, that Insta360 Go Ultra has a lot of different accessories, and DJI Nano actually has slightly less. But one of the accessories I wanted to show you in here are really important. It's, for example, ND filters. So you can purchase the set of ND filters specifically dedicated and designed for Insta360 Go Ultra. They look like this. This set comes with ND8, 16, and ND32. So you need to unscrew the main lens protector from Insta360 Go Ultra and screw in the filter in here. That sounds really cool. But the problem is that you need separately purchase this set of filters. On the other hand, DJI made some really smart and bold move with the lenses for DJI Nano, because the size of the screw that is behind the lens protector is pretty much the same that we have on the DJI Action 5 Pro. And if you've seen my previous episode about ND filters, and if you haven't seen yet, you can reuse the same ND filters that we have been using with the DJI Action 5 3, 4, or 5, now with the DJI Nano. So this is the ND New Wear ND 8 to 32 variable filter they can put to the DJI Action 5 Pro. And actually, just take a look. The size of the screw is the same, and now it is attached to the DJI Nano. And this is really cool because you don't need to buy anything else. I mean, once you have this filter set, you can just simply screw it in to DJI Nano and reuse it. Actually, I was expecting from Nano camera to be really smaller. As you can see, now I compare DJI Nano to DJI Action 5 Pro, and just take a look. DJI Nano is huge. I mean, not this camera was called as Nano from DJI. Just take a look. DJI Action 5 Pro looks really small compared to DJI Nano camera. And it has the same sensor, but the quality of the image looks a lot better on DJI Action 5 Pro than on DJI Nano. I don't know why it is like this, but yeah, we have what we have. Slowly moving to this pantone over the lake. As we can see, the sun is behind the trees, and it's so beautiful cinematic view right now. The water is super calm. Seems like it's the last few days before the real fall is coming. I just attached both cameras over there, as you can see, and let's compare the remote capabilities. So the remote screen is definitely so different in size.
In Go Ultra, it is a lot larger, so you can see more details than on DJI Nano. But there is one more important thing that we have on Go Ultra, and unfortunately we don't have on DJI Nano. You can see all the previewed videos captured with Insta360 Go Ultra straightforward from the distance on your action pod. Unfortunately, on DJI Nano, you cannot do this. You need to attach the main camera back to the preview action pod of DJI Nano in order to preview what you just filmed. So what I really like about DJI Nano, that inside of the standard package, you will find this protective case for the main camera. And this is really helpful. And I would like that Insta360 has it for their main action camera on Go Ultra. If you plan discreetly film outdoor, and you have, for example, the clothes of black colors or white color, then Insta360 Go Ultra has also a camera of two colors, black and white, and you can just mask or hide your camera better up on your clothes. With DJI Nano, they have only one color. If you prefer more like light color t-shirt, then it will be more visible and less discreet. Another big advantage of Insta360 Go Ultra is a function from Apple Find Me. Means that you can connect your camera to your Find My application on iPhone, and once you lose this camera, you can just track it down, and this is really cool, especially as the camera is small. So my verdict would be about these two cameras. Actually, both of them are good. I mean, Insta360 Go Ultra has better sensor, and to my opinion, it has better image quality, a lot more different accessories, and in general, the camera feels more durable, more robust. And as for the street photography or for the traveling, this camera feels like easier and better to use. You know, if you're into DJI family, then and you would like to have all the cameras from DJI, then DJI Nano could be your choice. If you are new to all these small cameras, then at least for me, I would prefer to go with Insta360 Go Ultra because it feels smaller and lighter, the camera itself, even though that their weight is pretty much the same. The square shape, the square form factor of the camera makes it much easier to put it on your t-shirt. I know that the previous Insta360 Go 3S has the same shape as the DJI Nano now, but the thing is that Go 3S was like 2 times smaller or even more. So I mean, it was no difference where you attach this camera. With this piece of brick, I mean, it's really large. That's why I would prefer to have this shape of the camera instead of that one.
In my opinion, the new DJI Nano isn't really competing with the Insta360 Go Ultra. It's much closer to the Insta360 Go 3S. But here's the catch. The Go 3S is still smaller, lighter, and more discreet, which makes it easier to carry and use in everyday situations. And honestly, there are a lot of things DJI missed with this Nano. From the missing features to overall execution, it leaves me with one big question. Why release a camera that feels unfinished? So that's the outcome of this comparison. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my honest reviews, and see you in the next one.